Hi everyone, Scott Stork with Polaris Law Group, estate planning and elder law attorneys here in St. Charles, Missouri. Today I'm here to talk to you about special needs trusts. We receive a lot of calls and get a lot of people who ask about their disabled children and what type of trust planning they need. And so we get asked a lot, what type of special needs trust do they need? So the first thing to know is what is a special needs or a supplemental needs trust? And that's basically a trust that is holding assets, holding money and things like that, so that the person who is the beneficiary of that trust doesn't lose their government benefits. So the first question is, what type of benefits is your loved one receiving? So really there's two main types. There's Social Security income and Social Security disability income, and they are two different things. So Social Security income is typically because you have a disabled child who's unable to work or do anything. They haven't ever had a job, and they've got something like some sort of severe mental issue that doesn't allow them to hold a job at all. And so they're receiving Social Security in order to help them live, as opposed to something called Social Security disability income, which means that typically there's some sort of physical disability that allows or that doesn't allow the loved one to work. They've probably worked in the past, they've added money into Social Security, and then because of some sort of physical ailment, typically they're now getting Social Security benefits that pay back to them some of what they've paid into the program throughout their work life. So the main issue when we look at this is if someone is receiving Social Security income, SSI, then it's a more important type of ailment that we would need to potentially create a special needs trust for. If they're receiving Social Security disability, then it's not such an issue where Social Security or where a special needs trust would be necessary at that point. So the next question is, where did the money come from that you're trying to protect? So most of the time when we get this question, it's a parent or grandparent who are saying, look, I want to leave an inheritance to my loved one. They're receiving Social Security income, SSI, so how do I leave it? And so when we do that, we use something called a third-party special needs trust, as opposed to someone who maybe inherits money themselves, gets a judgment from a car accident or something like that. So now the disabled person is receiving the money in their own name typically, and they need to protect it so that they don't lose their SSI benefits. That is called a first-party special needs trust. It's a trust typically created by the person themselves or a representative of that person, the court, something like that, for that person's own inheritance or own assets to go in so it doesn't disqualify them from those benefits. Now, a third-party special needs trust where a parent or grandparent creates that for their loved one is a easier route to take. What we typically do is create a revocable trust, most times for the parent or grandparent. They then, within that trust, leave the inheritance that they want to leave to their child or grandchild in a supplemental needs trust, what's called a third party. They're giving money to their loved one, but they're doing so in a way where the Social Security benefits that the loved one's receiving are not going to be taken away because now they have too many assets or income or things like that, which would disqualify them from the program. So there's a lot of questions to ask. There's a lot of considerations in planning, especially for special needs or disabled people. One of the things that we tell clients is come in, let's really dig in and go through the situation. Let's find an answer to all the questions that I just asked, and then we can plan appropriately for your loved one. So hopefully that helped. Again, Scott Stork with Polaris Law Group here in St. Charles. Please give us a call to schedule an appointment, 636-757-3850. Visit our website at polarisplans.com, and we hope you have a great day.